Hey there, today we're going to do a quick run through of the Welkio app. Welkio streamlines the front desk process for the receptionist, visitor, and all your employees. It's currently supported and available on iPads running iOS 10 and higher, or from the web. Now, while you'll primarily utilize the Welkio dashboard, your guests will interact with the visitor iPads. When they come to the front desk, they'll be able to log in using their first and last name by tapping Sign In, typing in their name. They'll also be able to add their email or phone number if that's something you'd like. And then they can put why they're visiting. Maybe they have an interview, maybe they have an important meeting, or maybe they're just meeting a friend for lunch. In this case, we'll pick interview and put, what company that they're coming from. Next step is just clicking the next arrow in the top right-hand corner, which will then bring you to a camera screen. We'll tap the top right-hand corner again, and if you have any kind of agreement, maybe an NDA for an example, that you want your guests to sign, they can go ahead and read through this, and then once they're done, give it their signature and acknowledge that they've read it and agreed to the statement. And they'll click next again, and here they'll be able to select who they're visiting. So maybe they can type in their host name, or if there's a list available, they can go through and see if that person is right there. Or if they can't find their host, they can simply touch the I can't find my host button, and someone on the team will be notified. Now, today I'm visiting Dave Patel. Click his name there, and he will instantly get a notification that I'm here, and he'll be down in any minute to come and greet me at the front desk. Now, if you're a returning guest, you can always go ahead and use the quick sign-in function if you have that enabled. Your guests will click quick sign-in in the bottom left-hand corner, type in their phone number, and that will recognize them in the system as well. Now, when your guests sign out, they can use the quick sign-out feature by tapping Sign Out and typing in their full name. Now, maybe your front desk or your receptionist is away for the day and you have a delivery, or someone is at the front desk and needs assistance, you can always use the delivery or assistance buttons on the bottom right-hand corner of the visitor iPads. Now, they can just be tapped, and someone who you designated on your team will be notified, and they'll be right there. Same thing for the assistance button. That will send out a notification to a designated person on your team, and someone will come down and greet them. That's it for the visitor sign-in. Very simple, very user-friendly, and easy to use. Now, you'll, again, primarily use the Access dashboard for guest sign-ins and your administrative purposes. Now, on the visitor side, you'll see the Visitors tab will give you a full view of all the people that you've had to come in on any given day. Now, just to back up for a second, there are a couple different roles and permissions available in Access, each with their own level of dashboard accessibility and roles and permissions. Now, there's an owner role, there's an admin role, a user role, and a receptionist role. Now, the owner is typically the first person of your organization to join Welkio. Each organization can only have one owner, and that can be changed at any time by the owner himself or herself. The owner can view and manage everything within the dashboard and is the only person with access to billing. An admin is able to manage members, so who's invited in to use Welkio. They can modify your settings, and they can add devices, meaning any kind of visitor iPad, to your account. A user is a user that has access to their own account information, so maybe it's a member of your team that's using Welkio. They can go ahead and adjust their own settings or their notification settings whenever needed. A receptionist has a view-only access availability for Welkio, so they can view the visitor log, look at analytics, they can view your Volt, which is a list of all of your signed documents and agreements, and they can also view your team directory. Now back to the Visitors tab, you can always go ahead and see who you've had come in for the day, and you can navigate to see your list of visitors on any given day. So maybe you want to just look for a visitor that came in yesterday or last week, or maybe you want to look for a previous month. Now this lightning bolt right here on the top right-hand corner of the visitor tab allows you to log a new visit, or if you have a new delivery, you can also export your list of visitors for the day, as well as access and export your emergency list, which is a list of people that need to be notified during any kind of emergency in your building. In the pre-registration tab, you can view any guests that have been pre-registered for their visit. Similar to the visitors page, you can use the forward and back buttons to view for a specific date, or click and use the down arrow to flip through the calendar view to a particular date or particular month. You can use the Add Guests button right here in the upper right-hand corner of the page to pre-register a guest yourself. You can type in the meeting information, the guest info here, as well as their contact information and company name, and then click Register once you're done. You can also add any kind of important notes that the front desk needs to know. Maybe please send Caitlin to the 4th floor lobby upon arrival, for example. The analytics page takes all of your guest sign-ins and your visitors and turns them into rich data. So you get a reliable and up-to-date information directly from your visitors and all the people that come in through your door. With analytics, you get total visits, which is a count of total visits by hour, day, week, as well as month. You can always slide through and see different stats and data points for any given point on these charts. So you'll see that on October 27th here at 1, I've had 0 visits here, but November 7th, I've had a certain number of visits there. You'll also get the day of week average, so you can see which days on average get the most number of foot traffic. You also have the hourly average, which is similar to the day of the week average, shows you the average for when you get the most traffic. So here it looks like 8 a.m. is one of the most popular times, as well as around lunchtime. You can also run reports using the analytics page, and these reports will create a list of stats for any given time frame on any visitor or visitors from a specific company, including their purpose of visit, as well as information on a particular host. Now, if you go to the Vault right here, the Vault, once again, is your go-to for reviewing an archive of all agreements signed by your guests. So they'll be ordered in order by most recently signed all the way to the oldest signed document. You can go ahead here, click on the right-hand 3 more buttons to get a printed view, download it, and export it that way, or you can delete this vault and this agreement. Now, if you go to the devices page, you'll be able to see all the devices that you have connected to your account. Now, no matter if you have 1 iPad or 10 iPads connected, you can visit this page to edit and remove a device using the More menu on the right-hand side of the device name. Edit here, so you can edit the name or the details, or you can delete it as well. You can also click Add New Device here and enter a new device name, and you'll use this access code to type it into your Welkio visitor iPad. Once you have this set up, it'll appear directly on your devices page. Now, if you go to settings page lets you control and adjust many of the features and settings in Welkio. So from the settings page, you can adjust branding. So you can customize the look and feel of both your dashboard and your visitor iPad. You can change your logo. You'll see that the logo for the company Field Lens is right here, and you'll see that it's reflected in the iPad over here as well. You can choose whether you want a light background or a dark background. You can pick the primary color theme for your buttons and your tabs as well. You'll see that the sign-in icon is that blue color right here on the visitor iPad. You can also choose to turn on a background slideshow, drag and drop any kind of photos you want to play on the background of your visitor iPad. If you scroll up to the Visitors tab within the Settings page, here you'll be able to customize what information is required for your visitors to sign and fill out on sign-in. So here in your visitor form, right now you'll see that we have first and last name set up to be required, with email and phone as optional. Anything with the lock next to it means that it's required, and anything with the check mark next to it that in blue is also required. You'll see that email and phone is optional right now. You can go ahead and always click that to require it and simply unclick it again if you decide that it's not required anymore. You'll also here be able to add your purpose of visits. Right now we'll have these 4 options. You can always add a new one. By clicking this add field, you can add any other sort of form or category that you want your guests to fill out. On this page, you'll also be able to decide if you require a photo at sign-in, how long the photo is good for. So if you want a photo to never be remembered and have your guests retake a photo every time they visit, you would simply leave this unchecked. Or if you want it to be good for 30 days, 90 days, you would simply go ahead and make your selection right here. Right here is also where you decide to turn on or off self-sign out and quick sign-in. Right now you'll see that they're on, but as soon as you turn these off and refresh, you can see on the visitor iPad they automatically remove those features. Let's turn those back on. Now, if you go to the agreement setting, this is where you enable agreements. Like you saw when we were originally signing in, there was an NDA required by FieldLens. Here you can decide if an agreement is required, when it's required, so all purposes of visits, or you can link it to a specific purpose. Say if someone is interviewing, you can only have them sign an agreement then. You can have as many agreements as you want. Simply tap the Add Agreement button right here and type in the document or the language that you want to be read. And up here, you can choose to have an email receipt sent to the organization, including yourself. You can email receipt of the document to your guests. You can also countersign your agreements as well. And here you'd be able to type in what name is countersigned. If you go to the host page, you can edit how hosts are found in searches when your guests are signing in. Here, Smart Search allows your guests to type without any kind of tolerance for typos. So if you misspell something, there's a Smart Search and they'll be able to pull that name directly from the database. Catch-all means if your guest can't see their host or can't find them, someone else is notified on your team and will come down and greet them. If you browse hosts, there will be a list of people that your guests can choose from and they can visit. You can choose to have photos next to hosts. You can choose to display their titles as well. In the notifications page, you can select when and how you're notified of incoming visitors and deliveries. So Access lets you and your team get alerts from email, SMS message, Slack, and HipChat. So you can enable these or turn them off at any time. You can have as many or as little on as you want. You'll also notice the assistance and delivery notifications down here. These will allow your guests or delivery service to alert a designated member of your team whenever your receptionist is away or unable to assist. Now if I turn those off, once again you'll see that those are removed from the visitor iPad search. You go up to the printer and Wi-Fi tab. If you choose to print any kind of badges or labels for your visitors, this is where you would set that up. You would turn on print badges and Wi-Fi credentials, select the model of printer that you want, as well as type in the IP address that's associated with your given printer. You can choose your badge orientation, whether you want it landscape or portrait, as well as type in your Wi-Fi information as well that's going to be shared with your guests. If you go to the security tab, this is where you'll be able to use rich features to create watch lists and keep track of any kind of people that need special treatment or special services upon arrival. Any kind of visitors that are high profile or again need special treatment, you can create a watch list. You would enter a watch list rule, meaning anyone who's named Andrew Smith, anyone from, say, a different company like Fieldlens, anyone with a specific email or phone number, then gets put on the watch list. You can select who gets notified when someone from the watch list comes to your building or signs in. There's also a public security desk link, meaning that your security team can view today's pre-registered guests and signed-in visitors via a dedicated landing page. Last but not least on the settings page is the pre-registration tab. This lets you draft an email message that's sent to your guests and create a unique link for employees to send out for pre-guest registration. So here you would turn guest email on, type in your message, maybe you include important transportation details or what to expect upon arrival. And again, with the public pre-registration link, you would copy and paste this, send it out to your guests or a member of your team to pre-register their guests. Now, if you click up here and go to the team feature within Welkio, this allows you to view your entire team directory. You'll see their name, their title, as well as what kind of permission they have. You'll see admin status, owner, etc. You can click on each individual profile to view more specific information, including contact information. Now, if you're an admin or the account owner, you can always click and add a new member directly from the team page. So if you would click here, you can click add member, type in their information, including first name and email, which is always required, and then you can hit save. And once you hit save, they'll get an email notification saying that they've been invited to join your team in Welkio. Let's go back to the team page. You can also use these three buttons here to invite team members. So here you would use this, the invite members section, to invite individual team members by sending a URL, or you can send another email here. You can also manage your team here by importing an entire list or external database of your team, making it easy to, instead of individually adding them, you can bulk upload them. You can use Google, HipChat, Slack, Active Directory, or use a CSV spreadsheet. If you go to the admin section, this lets you see all of your billing information, your basic organizational details, as well as your location. So here you'll see your organization name, you can see your billing information, where you get receipts, you can manage certain branding that's similar to in the settings page, choosing your logo. You can also manage specific settings for your team as well. How teams are allowed to sign up, what email domain is allowed to sign up to your account. If you go to the locations page within the admin settings, you can see a whole list view of all the locations that are currently using Welkio. So here you'll see that HQ is currently using it and another location is using it. You'll see their address as well as a map. You can always add another location here by clicking Add Location. Any existing location, simply use these three buttons right here to delete it. Sorry about that. And that's it. You know, once you've created an account, invited in your team, and connected your iPads, you're all set. It's that easy. You can edit or update your settings at any time, make Welkio Access exactly your own, exactly how you want it. To get started, simply just go to welkio.com and click sign up and go from there. Thanks so much. You can always reach out to us with any questions, and we're happy to answer at any time.